Hi, folks. I wanted to share a little something with you. This is something a little different, a little unusual. I just got this today. My new toy. And it's a Victrola 6, and I know our eyes glaze over when we hear the term a Victrola 6. I think, would they make 711,000 of them? Like, well over, like 500,000. I mean, they're everywhere. And if the survival rate's 10%, that's still like 71,000 of them, and that's an awful lot. But the thing is, this is not your everyday Victrola 6. This is the first model of the Victrola 6. It's very, very different. Let me show you some stuff. First off, if you look here, you'll notice the arm is very, very different. It's fitted. You just can actually slide it in there. That's how it works. And it has a 10-inch turntable. Now, this record I'm playing is from 1914, so it's a little newer than the machine. There's some things that I think have been changed here. Of course, I don't think this is original. This was changed. I have to find the original part and put it there. Also, it's in really nice shape. And it's got the early crank. Now, I know they had the flat-ended crank in the first issuance of this. Now, this is a 1912 machine. The first models came out in October of 1911, and this was made in early 1912. A couple of things to show you. Let me undo the crank here, if I may. Okay, put that over there. And I can open this up. And you will see that there is the motor, the spring and everything, and the governor. And there's your horn right here. And so the horn contains the motor. And that was true on many of the early Victor machines. You know, the Victrola 6 was part of a grouping of machines that were put together after the void was created by the removal of the Victrola 12. You see, the Victrola 12 was the first portable phonograph, Victrola, I should say, for Victor. And it came out in 1909. It was big, it was heavy, but it was portable. You could carry it around very carefully. One thing that's kind of interesting about it, the only thing that wasn't portable about it was its price. It was $125. In 1909, that was 1/10 the price of a house. So, interesting thing is that there was a number of machines that were put onto the Victor lineup to replace what had been the Victor 12, because the Victor 12 was a disaster. So the thing is, they added what was called the Victrola 4, the Victrola 6, the Victrola 8, the Victrola 9, the Victrola 10, and the Victrola 11. Now, what's important about this is between the years of 1910, 1911, the Victrola 4, the Victrola 6, the Victrola 8, and the Victrola 10, possibly the ninth, I'm not sure, all had the motors within the horn. And that is why, like on this, you will see, you've got these slats here in the front, and the slats are here to hide the springs so you can't see them. So this is, as I mentioned, the first model. I just got it today. I rebuilt the reproducer. I worked on the machine. I cleaned it up. Got it all working pretty good. And I want to let you hear something. Let's listen to the Junkman Rag, One Step, or Two Step, depending on how you feel, by the Victor Military Band. And here we go. On the Victrola 6 of early 1912. You know, it's a funny thing. I always wanted to have a Victrola 6, the first model. I never ever could find one. And you know, for many, many years I thought about it and I finally just gave up. And by chance, one turned up at a very, very inexpensive price. It was almost a ridiculous price. It was wonderful. And I got it, and I've been working on it. We've built the reproducer, worked on the motor, cleaned things up, made it run better. The interesting thing, about 25, 30 years ago, I wanted one of these in the worst way. I wanted to get that first model. And now it took about 30 years, and I've got it. Now, maybe the excitement's a little different than it would have been 30 years ago, but you know something? There's still something special about finally finding something you always wanted. I'm always reminded of the captain who always wanted to be in charge of the great ocean liner, the Aquitania. And she came out in 1914, 2 years after this phonograph. And the interesting thing is, he finally took command of her in 1949 when she was an ancient old wreck. And he said she may be a little shabby. He said, but I am sure her salon is one of the best on the Atlantic. He was thrilled beyond measure. And so, in a sense, I'm thrilled beyond measure to finally get this machine, having a little fun with it. And I'm glad I could share it with you. Thank you.